Hello, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to participate in this training on risk management in the classroom. Today, I want to discuss a topic that is essential to the safety, well-being, and success of every child we serve. Risk management is not just about preventing accidents, it is about identifying potential hazards before they become problems, making informed decisions, and creating environments where children can learn, explore, and develop safely. As early Head Start and child care professionals, we work with infants and toddlers who are naturally curious and eager to discover the world around them. Exploration is a critical part of child development, but it also introduces risks. Our role is not to eliminate every challenge or prevent children from learning through experience. Instead, our responsibility is to recognize hazards, minimize unnecessary risks, and provide safe opportunities for growth and learning. Risk management begins with awareness. Every classroom contains potential hazards that can lead to injuries or incidents if left unaddressed. These hazards may be physical, environmental, health-related, or even procedural. Effective risk management requires us to constantly evaluate our surroundings, observe children's behavior, and anticipate situations before they occur. The most successful teachers are often those who develop the habit of thinking ahead and asking themselves, what could happen here and how can I prevent it? One of the most important aspects of risk management is understanding the difference between a hazard and a risk. A hazard is something that has the potential to cause harm. A risk is the likelihood that harm will actually occur. For example, a loose electrical cord in a classroom is a hazard. The risk increases if children have access to that cord and may trip over it. By identifying the hazard and addressing it promptly, we reduce the risk and help maintain a safer environment. Risk management starts before children even enter the classroom. Every day should begin with a visual inspection of the learning environment. Teachers should examine floors, furniture, equipment, learning materials, and activity areas to ensure everything is safe and in good condition. Small issues that may seem insignificant can quickly become serious concerns if they are overlooked. A loose cabinet door, a broken toy, a wet floor, or an unsecured bookshelf can all contribute to preventable injuries. Classroom arrangement plays a significant role in managing risk. The physical environment should be organized in a way that promotes visibility and supervision. Teachers should be able to see all children at all times. Blind spots, cluttered areas, and overcrowded learning centers can make supervision more difficult and increase the likelihood of accidents. When arranging a classroom, consider how children move through the space and whether adults can easily observe all areas without obstruction. Active supervision is one of the most powerful risk management tools available to educators. Active supervision goes beyond simply watching children. It involves positioning yourself strategically, scanning the environment continuously, listening carefully, anticipating potential problems, and engaging with children in meaningful ways. Active supervision allows teachers to identify concerns early and intervene before situations escalate into injuries or incidents. Children's behavior is another important factor in risk management. Young children often test limits, explore boundaries, and engage in behaviors that adults may not anticipate. Effective risk management requires teachers to understand child development and recognize behaviors that may place children at risk. For example, a toddler who is beginning to climb may suddenly attempt to scale furniture or equipment. By recognizing developmental milestones and anticipating behavior, teachers can take proactive steps to maintain safety while supporting healthy growth. Transitions are often overlooked when discussing risk management, yet they are among the most vulnerable times during the day. Whether children are arriving, leaving, moving between classrooms, going outdoors, or transitioning to meals and naps, routines can become hectic and distractions can occur. During transitions, staff should remain focused, communicate clearly, conduct frequent head counts, and maintain appropriate supervision. Many incidents occur during moments when attention is divided, making careful planning essential. Risk management also includes maintaining safe and healthy environments. Proper sanitation practices reduce the spread of illness and protect both children and staff. Hand washing, cleaning schedules, diapering procedures, food handling practices, and disinfecting high-touch surfaces all contribute to reducing health-related risks. Illness prevention is an important component of risk management because protecting children's health is just as important as preventing physical injuries. Storage of hazardous materials is another critical area. Cleaning products, medications, sanitizers, sharp objects, and other potentially dangerous items must always be stored securely and out of children's reach. Even products that seem harmless to adults can pose serious dangers to young children. Effective risk management means consistently following procedures and never becoming complacent about safety practices. Outdoor environments present unique risk management challenges. Playgrounds offer valuable opportunities for physical development, social interaction, and exploration, but they also require close supervision and routine inspection. Staff should inspect equipment, check for damage, ensure gates are secure, and identify any environmental hazards. During outdoor activities, teachers should spread out across the play area, monitor high-risk zones, and maintain constant awareness of children's locations and activities. Another important component of risk management involves emergency preparedness. Emergencies rarely occur when it is convenient, and they often happen without warning. Whether dealing with severe weather, medical emergencies, fire alarms, power outages, or security concerns, staff must be prepared to respond calmly and effectively. Preparation begins long before an emergency occurs. Regular drills, clear procedures, staff training, and familiarity with emergency plans all contribute to effective risk management and help ensure the safety of children during unexpected situations. Communication is also a key element of risk management. Staff members must communicate openly about concerns, observations, and potential hazards. If something does not seem safe, it should be reported immediately. Waiting for someone else to address a problem can increase risk and lead to preventable incidents. A strong safety culture encourages everyone to speak up when concerns arise and supports proactive problem solving. Documentation is another important aspect of risk management. When incidents occur, accurate and timely documentation helps programs identify patterns, evaluate procedures, and implement improvements. Incident reports should be factual, objective, and completed according to program requirements. Documentation not only supports accountability, but also provides valuable information that can help prevent future incidents. Risk management is not about creating fear or restricting children's experiences. In fact, effective risk management allows children to engage in meaningful learning opportunities with confidence. It is also important to recognize that risk management is an ongoing process rather than a one-time activity. Classrooms change, children develop new skills, equipment ages, and circumstances evolve. What was safe yesterday may require attention today. Effective educators continuously evaluate their environments, reflect on their practices, and remain committed to improvement. When we think about risk management, we should view it as an investment in the well-being of children, families, and staff. Every hazard corrected, every procedure followed, every inspection completed, and every concern reported contributes to a safer learning environment. These actions may seem small individually, but together they create a culture of safety that protects children and supports positive outcomes. One area of risk management that deserves special attention is the concept of identifying risks before they become incidents. Many accidents do not happen because staff are careless, they happen because warning signs were missed. For example, imagine a teacher notices that a toddler has started climbing onto chairs more frequently during the week. The child has not fallen and no injury has occurred, so it may be tempting to view the behavior as harmless. However, effective risk management means recognizing that this behavior could eventually lead to a fall from a table, shelf, or other elevated surface. Rather than waiting for an injury to occur, the teacher can take preventive action. Another example involves classroom materials and toys. Consider a situation where a toy is slightly damaged but still appears usable. Perhaps a wheel is loose on a toy vehicle, a plastic block has a crack, or a puzzle piece has begun to splinter. A teacher may think the damage is minor and decide to continue using the item until it can be replaced. However, risk management requires us to consider what could happen if the item remains available to children. A loose wheel could become a choking hazard, a cracked edge could cause a cut, or a broken component could create sharp surfaces. The safest course of action is to remove damaged items immediately, document the concern, and ensure that the item is repaired or discarded. What seems like a small issue today can become a serious injury tomorrow if left unresolved. Risk management also applies to interactions among children. For example, teachers may observe that two toddlers frequently compete for the same toys and become frustrated with one another. If this pattern continues without intervention, it may eventually lead to pushing, biting, hitting, or other injuries. Rather than waiting for an incident to occur, staff can implement preventive strategies such as increasing duplicate materials, teaching turn-taking skills, redirecting children to different activities, and providing additional supervision. In this situation, the risk is not a physical object, but a predictable behavior pattern that could result in harm. Effective risk management includes recognizing social and emotional situations that have the potential to escalate. Weather-related risks provide another excellent example of why constant awareness is necessary. On a typical day, a playground may appear completely safe. However, after a rainstorm, conditions can change dramatically. Surfaces may become slippery, standing water may attract insects, playground equipment may become slick, and muddy areas may create tripping hazards. Before taking children outdoors, staff should reassess the environment. Risk management requires us to understand that safety conditions can change from hour to hour. What was safe this morning may not be safe after lunch, and regular reassessment helps prevent unnecessary injuries. One final example involves the importance of communication among staff members. Imagine a teacher discovers that a classroom gate does not latch properly and reports it to a supervisor. If that information is not shared with substitute staff or co-workers, another adult may unknowingly leave the area unattended for a moment, assuming the gate is secure. This creates an unnecessary risk. Effective risk management depends on timely communication and teamwork. When concerns are identified, everyone responsible for supervising children should be aware of the issue and understand what temporary precautions are necessary. Perhaps the most important lesson about risk management is that it is a mindset rather than a checklist. Completing inspections, documenting concerns, and following procedures are all important, but true risk management occurs when safety becomes part of every decision we make. It is the habit of constantly asking ourselves, what could happen here, and what can I do right now to prevent it? When teachers develop this way of thinking, they begin to recognize hazards more quickly. Respond more effectively, and create safer learning environments for children. Over time, this proactive mindset becomes second nature. As we conclude this training, I encourage you to think about the role you play in managing risk every day. Whether you are conducting classroom inspections, supervising children, or communicating with colleagues, your actions matter. Risk management is not the responsibility of one person or one department. It is a shared responsibility that requires commitment, awareness, and teamwork. Thank you for your dedication to the children and families we serve. By remaining vigilant, proactive, and committed to safety, we can continue creating environments where children are protected and given every opportunity to learn and thrive. Together, we can make risk management an everyday practice. Thank you for your time.